Hi folks, welcome to Kathy's Corner this morning. I have been so excited about today's segment that I got busy filming last week. I've been just looking forward to this so much. It was just such a beautiful weekend weather-wise. I know I spent a lot of time outside cutting grass. I'm working in my flowers and just enjoying all this beautiful nature that there is to see. I live close to a river and I can hear the river in the background. I wish you could too, and you might even see a little cottonwood floating by here in a minute. All kinds of wonderful things about being outside. And the flowers, my gosh, they are just stunning this year. Even the little weed flowers you can see in the background of my little table. I've got some yellow weed flowers that Lorelei picked for me. But she sees beauty in them, and so do I, I believe that the author of that wonderful old hymn might have been sitting outside like I did this morning, doing his devotions, and just had the inspiration flow to him that allowed him to write these words. When through the woods and forest glades I wander, and hear the birds sing sweetly in the trees, when I look down from lofty mountain grandeur, and hear the brook and feel the gentle breeze, then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Yes, there have been so many wonderful things all around us that we've been gifted with so that we can enjoy this world we live in. It was said once, I read somewhere, that flowers are Earth's laughter. And with everything that's going on in the world right now, we sure need to see those smiles and the laughter, and we need to enjoy the beautiful gift of all these glorious flowers around us. Did you know that it was medically proven that when we gaze at flowers, that there are chemicals released in our brains that are those feel-good chemicals? I know that's true for me, and everybody that knows me know it too, because I go on and on about flowers. My neighbor up the road, I admired her irises blooming so much that she left scissors on her steps so that when I'm walking by for exercise, if there's something I'd like, I can clip them and take them home. So that gives me great joy, it does. And I'm not the only one. Think about how many different ways we humans enjoy flowers. We prove it. We prove it by the fact that we have fabric, clothes fabric that has flowers all over it. We have wallpaper, some of us in our house, or borders that have flowers on it. We even have named our baby girls after flowers. Think about it. We've called them Lily and Violet and Rose, and oh my goodness, I think I feel a song coming on, and I hope you'll sing along with me. Oh, Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage, we can't afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two. And can you remember the song, Robin, that I was just a little girl, probably in the 60s. Tiny Tim sang it on the Ed Sullivan Show. I remember. Oh, tiptoe to the window, by the window, that is where I become. Tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh, tiptoe from your pillow to the shadow of the willow tree. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Me deep in flowers will stray, will keep all the showers away. And if I kiss you in the garden, in the moonlight, will you pardon me? Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Such a fun song. Yes, it is. And we have to do probably one of my favorite songs about flowers.
One of your favorites.
It was a rose song.
Rose.
On an old 45 I had with Wayne Newton when I was a little girl.
Oh.
Remember? I want some red roses for a blue lady. Mr. Florist, take my order, please. We had a silly quarrel the other day. I'm hoping these pretty flowers chase the blues away. Wrap up some red roses for a blue lady. Send them to the sweetest gal in town. And if they do the trick, I will hurry back to pick your best white orchid, your best white orchid, your best white orchid for Oh, Robin, it's so good to see you again this
Yes.
week. In just a week's
Is that all the
time,
flower songs you got?
No, that's not all the flower
Can I
songs.
do a flower song?
Can you do a flower song?
Is it time? I'd like to do a flower
Well,
song myself.
Since the comments that I got last week that my daughter shared with me from Facebook and YouTube were all about you and how good it was to see you, of course you can do a flower song. All right.
Well, I'm just like a prairie flower, honey. And I'm just like a prairie flower, babe. Well, I'm just like a prairie flower, 'cause I grow wilder by the hour. Honey, oh, babe, be mine. I'm just like a prairie flower, honey. I'm just like a prairie flower, baby. I'm just like a prairie flower, 'cause I grow wilder by the hour. Honey, baby mine.
Leave it to a banjo player to
I
come
love
up
it.
with
Yeah,
that
you
one.
Did you know that? Well, you knew it. Huh?
Well,
Not really. You didn't really
I
know
kind
that,
of
did
have
you?
heard this song before, but it's not really a flower song. It's
Well,
called Honey Babe, right?
Yes, I know.
But
Yes,
then
it is.
that's okay. We're just happy to have you. You can
Yes.
sing any kind of flower song,
Thank you.
song you want to. I'm just lucky that he didn't suggest that we sing Peonies from Heaven.
Oh, great song. Sing it.
I'm just teasing. We'll do that another
Every
time.
time.
It's not peonies from heaven. It's pennies
Every
from
time
heaven.
it rains,
Anyway,
it rains.
yes, you know.
Peonies from heaven.
Yes, peonies from heaven. Anyway, no, that's not what we're going to do. But we will do one more flower song. Janet Godby asked me if I would do this song, and I said, oh, of course, I love this. I got a lot of history behind this. Sang it at Aunt Mildred and Uncle Austin's 50th wedding anniversary, which was probably 20 years ago. And Uncle Austin played his violin. His lovely bride was Mildred McNamara, so she had Irish lineage there. And My Wild Irish Rose was one of her very, very favorite songs. I think we should do that for Janet and in memory of Aunt Mildred too. Okay?
I think that's a great idea.
Yes. My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You may search everywhere, but none can compare with my wild Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the sweetest flower that grows. And someday for my sake, she will let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose. One of those pretty songs that stands the test of time, and I was kind of curious since we were
Speaking
doing
of flowers, looky
Oh,
here.
looky, you do. You have flowers on the back of your
Columbine.
banjo.
It's Columbine.
Columbine. Yes, we may see
And a floral decor.
flora decor. Yes, flowers are so important just all the way around. I
Yes.
talked about that earlier.
Yes.
You've got beautiful flowers here at your place. And back to that Irish rose thing, though, I was curious if there really was a such thing as an Irish rose. So I Googled it, and I had trouble finding things, but you Googled and found a beautiful...
She Googles and I duck, go.
Okay, he duck-duck-goed, whatever that means, and found a wonderful picture of what is to be an Irish rose. It's kind of a lavenderish color, wouldn't you say?
I would say that.
I would say. So, but you went to all that trouble, I went to that trouble, and if I just would have been thinking a little bit, I know some folks just down the road that I could have asked all about Irish roses, and they could have told me. And I think it would be a good idea if we'd pay them a visit right now. What do you think?
I think so. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, here we are at one of my absolute favorite spots in the world in spring, especially when it has to come to do with flowers. The parking lot's empty, and that's because it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and they have almost cleaned the entire greenhouse out of lovely flowers this season. Of course, all of you know that I am talking about Cossiarts Florists, a fixture in Shelbyville for many, many years. Jim and Nancy have been so kind to tell me that though they're even closed right now, they will invite me in and we'll chat a little bit with the experts about flowers at Cossiarts. Oh, let's see what we can see inside. Boy, when it has been months since I've been shopping, I feel like a kid in a candy store. Look at all these beautiful things. Wind chimes and candles and wonderful plaques with great sayings. Oh, look at that one. Live life in full bloom. I love it. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Oh, it's been a long time since we've been inside here, hasn't it, folks? And it's going to be so good when we can come back again and get really close and look at things and pick out fancy special things for all of our friends. And speaking of our friends, look who's here. Why, it's Jim and Nancy Cossiarts. Thank you so much for letting us come into your place and talk a little bit about this wonderful, wonderful flower shop that's been around forever and ever, right?
Pretty much so.
Almost 125 years.
Yeah. Just to give you a very brief history, my great-grandfather started as a truck farmer selling vegetables and fruit off the back of his truck. I think he had a small greenhouse at that time.
Your great-grandfather?
My great-grandfather.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm a fourth-generation florist. But again, mainly selling food items. And but his wife liked to hobby in geraniums, so she had extras one day. Said, "Hey, put these in the truck." Probably a horse-drawn cart at that time. Put these. Cause this was we're talking about the late 1800s.
Sure.
Put this on the on the cart and try to sell these, and they were popular. And over a period of time, they found themselves selling a lot of flowers. And at some point in time, and we don't know what day it was this first happened, or what day they decided to go more exclusively into flowers. We already had the greenhouse. And, in connections around town, they lived here for a while.
In Shelby County, in Shelbyville.
In Shelby County, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, the first greenhouse out here on Bogstown Road, where we are now, kind of ironically, since we were down on Broadway for so many years. But anyway, they started out with fruits and vegetables, went into flowers, been doing that ever since. And at some point, about 1914, we opened up we rented a place in downtown to have as a flower shop. Then in 1919, we built the actual shop, exclusively for the flower business on Broadway. That was 1919, and then we were there till about 2005 when the city needed us to vacate so they could expand the fire station. So we came out here and were open. I guess it would have been like January of 2005.
Wow, so you've been here 15 years?
Yeah. I know, right?
I know,
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
It's flown by.
Oh, and this is such a perfect little cottage flower shop. I mean, it was just perfect when this happened for you.
Well, we happen to already own this property, and we had it as a rental, but at the time it was empty. So it was like God opened the door and said, "You need a place, and you got a place."
Isn't that the way it works?
Yeah.
If you got your eyes open, you can see those signs ahead of you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
and this
great.
has worked out great with us here and the greenhouse. We can trade people back and forth, and it's just worked out really nice.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm sure you were wondering what you were supposed to be having your eyes open about with the beginning of this planting season that we had this year and the beginning of this daggone virus.
Well, for us to grow things, which we do for the springtime, we actually have to place that order in the fall before. So the things we have sold here this spring are primarily ordered in September and October. So we had no idea this was coming. In fact, most of the plants were probably in pots and growing or hanging baskets or whatever when these closures started.
Oh my goodness.
So we really were unsure just exactly how we were going to be able to operate. For a while, we operated on a pickup or a delivery basis only, not letting people in the store. And we still have not returned to letting people in the flower shop where we can, however, shop in the greenhouse with the mask. We ask you do wear a mask. But we were afraid that we'd go into the peak planting season, weather-wise and plant availability-wise, under some restrictions. We didn't know what that was going to be. We were afraid we were going to try to deliver everything, and it was really going to hamper people's shopping.
So we
didn't know. We had the greenhouse full of stuff and didn't know if we'd be able to sell it.
Oh my goodness.
Lots of prayers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lots of
I
prayers,
can't
lots of
imagine.
anxious-
So did you have a plan B ready to go?
Well,
We came up with a plan B.
Jessica had wanted to do a website for a very long time, and so she really buckled down and worked many hours taking pictures of our product and putting them on a website. So our greenhouse has its own dedicated website.
Yeah. The flower shop had a website for a number of years, but it was designed more for a retail florist, not really for a garden center setting. So we tried using it, but it just didn't work very well. But what she's done, we did exactly what we needed to do, put our flowers by color and description and price in front of people.
So she's the 5th generation
She
then
is.
of Cossiarts. Then
Right.
she's taking the business on to a
We've
new
given,
level.
We've given her
A new
more
level.
and more responsibility as time
Yeah.
goes on, which is
She's a lovely
appropriate.
girl.
Yeah, appropriate for for an adult.
She went to school for marketing, and so she does all our marketing stuff, and she's just taken on a bigger role.
And
all
she's
the
a
time.
whiz with that computer.
Yes, she is. Thank goodness, because I am not.
Well, I'll tell you, when I first drove in, I have to admit, the first place that I went, once they lifted the bans, other than I had been at my daughter's and at church to record music, the first place I came and I ventured out with my mask was here at your greenhouse.
Well, thank you.
And the parking lot was full. This was that first week.
Yes.
And I got out of the car, and one of my seniors, Patty Hetrick, was getting out of the car too. The greenhouse was abuzz. It was absolutely beautiful. The flowers just looked like they had had the best spring they had ever had. And then I came back the next week, and half of it was gone.
Yeah. People were craving this. They have been cooped up in their house, and when the weather got warmer, they wanted to venture out. They know they can't go places, a lot of places, probably not going on vacation this year. Let's make the yard pretty. So, yeah, it's
So,
been,
yeah,
it's
big
been a
increase.
whirlwind.
Big increase in interest in gardening this year.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Another one of those rainbows found in the rain for the floral business.
Absolutely, yes.
Because I checked in here before we came over to the house here, and there's hardly anything left.
Yeah.
It's becoming sparse.
It
That's
looks
unusual.
like-
Normally we have decent supplies of a lot of things through most of June, but right now we're out of almost everything. We still have some products, most for sun and some for shade, so we have a few things left. So
But
At a discount, I might
It
say.
has to be at a
Yes,
discount.
50% off,
50%
folks, for
off.
those of you that want to make a trip to the greenhouse. You better get here because there's not much left. They still look good.
probably by next week it'll be.
Oh.
yeah, it's getting thin over
Yeah.
there.
I bet. And last year we had that crazy spring where I remember as farmers, we never put anything in the ground until Memorial Weekend.
Absolutely.
And your greenhouse was probably stacked last
It
June
was.
too.
Yeah, we had a lot of product late in the season, later than
Yeah.
most people should be planting. But the weather affects a lot of things in a lot of different ways.
Oh, sure.
And it just makes it hard to plan for the following year. We used the last few years' records and sales to help predict what what is a
Sure.
more popular color trend, or maybe what sells quicker, or maybe it's more
Right.
demand. And we seem to have all these anomaly years that keep us from using that as a good guidepost. Like, I don't know what to do next.
Forget planning, guys.
We don't
We just
wanna-
can't do it
Yeah, we don't know. We
anymore.
had a plan this fall, and we're already actually talking about things that we would do more of and less of.
we don't want a pandemic again, but it sure
Yeah.
helped.
Well, didn't help initially.
Well, at least it helped with your garden
Yeah.
center.
Exactly.
But,
exactly.
but boy, it's been a challenge though with
Right, sales were definitely down at the flower shop. The last part of March. For really probably most of April, we missed a lot of things that are traditions in our culture. I mean, a lot of people didn't celebrate Easter in a normal way. Schools didn't have proms, or if they do, that'd be later. Graduations will be later. We had weddings on the books for at least 2 in May.
we had 2 or 3 in May and a couple in April that got
They got rescheduled. So I mean, a lot of these things that we expected to do just will take place, or won't take place at all. So.
Yeah, it's again, just planning is just so hard right
It is
now.
very hard.
But God is good and has
Oh,
made this a
absolutely.
great spring for you. You've got
Absolutely.
some lovely flowers
Yes.
sitting over there,
Yes.
some fresh flowers. They are still doing fresh flower
Still
arrangements.
making arrangements.
If you want to send something out,
Yes.
I had asked Jim and Nancy when I came in, I said, are there certain flowers that you send for certain occasions? And you had an unusual reply. for me.
Well, not as much as you might think.
Okay.
The Victorians, especially in Victorian England, used a lot of flowers to send messages, whereas their society and their culture just wouldn't allow people to speak as plainly or as directly as we do now. So people would use flowers, and everybody knew what all these flowers meant. And a lot of that doesn't really persist, except maybe in some recorded history somewhere. The one thing that has a great meaning, we recognize still that roses indicate love.
Sure.
Normally that's going to be a red rose. White roses would indicate purity or some type of, I don't know, honesty perhaps. We used to send yellow roses sometimes years ago to represent friendship. But most of the time people don't know that they have a meaning at all. I mean, again, it's just whatever meaning people assign to
This
them.
isn't a red rose, but this is pretty and it smells delightful.
Gorgeous.
Lavender rose.
Oh, that
Daisies sometimes you still associate that with innocence as well.
That's me.
Yeah.
Those are yellow daisies,
Yes.
Nancy, not white daisies.
But I'm so innocent.
I love it. I love it. And you've got
This is just a different kind of a mum. These are all in the same family. But this is used to be called a flat top.
Yeah,
Now
or
it's just
cushion
mum.
mum, which refers to the shape of the flower.
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. And that little white one that's got the pink on it,
This?
they last forever and a day.
Yes.
What is that called?
Well, its common name is Alstroemeria or princess lily. And they last a very, very long time.
Oh, they're just beautiful
Yes.
too.
And they make up nice little corsages too.
Oh, and they make a neat bouquet for your table because
Yes.
they'll last
Oh, yeah.
for weeks
Lots
and
of different
weeks.
colors, all
and
kinds of
weeks.
pinks
And we
and
have,
purples.
regular lilies. We have oriental lilies, which are the bigger, more fragrant lilies. Most people know carnations.
Sure, the pink carnation. There's a song. We did some songs, or we're going to do some songs. I'm not sure where this segment's going in the show, but flower songs, lots of them.
Oh, cool. Well, this is a Gabura daisy.
Say that again.
Gabura.
Oh, I thought it was a Gerber daisy.
Well, most people pronounce it that way, but there's an A at the end.
Actually,
Gabura daisy. Okay.
And these come in, I don't know.
I don't know how many different colors.
Yeah.
Many shades of pink, yellow, there's white, there's lime green, there's lots of red.
They're very
there's
popular
orange,
right
there's
now.
gold,
Okay.
Very,
there's
very
bicolors. Some of them have a dark eye, some of them have a clear eye.
And this
Lots
is
of
a
options.
hydrangea.
Beautiful.
It's a miniature green hydrangea. Most people tend to see them in white or blue,
Right.
but these last
We
a long
use the
time. We
green
use
ones
a lot.
all the time, year
Yeah.
round.
Just gives a nice little fresh
Just
spot of color to things.
just gorgeous. There's nothing like a flower even if it's not meant to say something specifically, it just warms your heart.
And it still sends a message. What we do here in the flower shop is primarily a gift or something send a message to someone else. It's either sympathy or thank you or happy birthday, happy anniversary. Thank you for watching my dog when I was gone. I mean, all kinds of things. Thanks for a great job. Congratulations on your promotion. I mean, we're sending a message, even though the flowers themselves don't have necessarily a lot of distinct meanings.
Sure.
The fact that we do it and someone thought to send flowers has a
Absolutely.
very powerful, it's a visual reminder of what we sometimes don't say ourselves or can't be there to say.
Absolutely.
So that's very important. So that's really what we're doing here. I mean, it's rare to send a flowers without actually a message attached to indicate,
What it's for.
congratulations or whatever, happy birthday.
Right. And in this pandemic kind of time, we're still in this pandemic time, this is such a safe way to send a message to someone
Absolutely.
or to brighten someone's day. And your telephone number is in the book, I'm sure, but boy, are there
317-398-9316.
there you go.
Find us online at several
That's
places.
right. So, what a wonderful, you have wonderful gifts here, and you folks have been, and your family, back all the way, have been such a gift to Shelbyville,
Thank you.
Shelby County for so many years.
It's not lost on us that we get to be a part of people's lives. You're not just buying, some, utilitarian thing. You're not buying just more, paper towels.
Right.
When you're shopping here, because most of what we're doing is for a gift. It does convey a message. So we know that, we've been kind of invited in, maybe in a very subtle way, into people's personal lives.
Absolutely.
And we take that very seriously. And we feel honored that we get a chance to be a part of that.
Yes, through our loves, through
Oh,
our joys, through our
Right.
sorrows. That's exactly
Yeah.
right, and you're able to do that through your beautiful flowers.
Well, thank you. We
Well,
appreciate that.
Thank you so much for letting me come in and chat with you a little bit today. And folks, be sure and visit Jim and Nancy. They'll fix you up whatever that you need, and look for their ad. I'm sure it'll be in the paper, or you'll hear it online when they're back and open again. And but know that they really are open. You can call and order something. But as far as coming through the doors, they're kind of like we are at Seniors. We're still waiting to see when we're going to do that. But you can call 2 minutes from now and send a little bit of cheer to someone.
Absolutely.
So thanks again,
Thank
folks.
you.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Jim and Nancy are such great folks, and they have helped me with crazy questions throughout the years. I remember one time I was repotting a violet that I'd had for a long, long time. It was special to me, and when I took it out, I knew it needed to be separated, and when I took it out, it broke the root ball off the bottom. Oh my gosh, did I panic. I called them and they gave me some special dirt, and I filled it all up, and I'll tell you, that plant lived. And in fact, I've got 4 plants off of that violet thanks to Jim and Nancy Cossiarts. So it was fun. It was fun seeing them today. And we talked about sending flowers. If you're not in the mood to send flowers yet this week, I would ask you to send a card for our card shower recipient. I have chosen Mr. John Tannehill. John is one of our Fairland seniors that's there all the time, every time he can be there. John's a big, tall guy. He's a Gideon. He loves trains. He loves his Bible. He loves flowers. He brought me some poppies one time in a vase that were just lovely. And John doesn't have any kids, and his relation is far away. So let's shower John with a card this week. Maybe he'll have a flower on it. Just tell him you've been thinking about him and you hope he's doing well. His address is John Tannehill, Post Office Box 183, Fairland, Indiana 46126. So I know he would appreciate that very, very much. So, and I think we've got another road trip that we must absolutely have to do today, because flowers and this gentleman's name are synonymous when you think about Fairland. So let me hop in the car and away we go. Oh my goodness, folks, listen to that music. Look at that beauty. For those of you that have driven down the road out of Fairland going towards Shelbyville, you know exactly where I'm at today. I am at the home of Don and Deanie Rabourn. In fact, there's the master of the house right now, Don Rabourn. How are you doing today, Don?
I'm hanging in there.
Oh, well, thank you so much for inviting us in here to look at all your gorgeous flowers. We've been looking forward to this. How long have you and Deanie lived here?
Fall of 1970.
The fall of 1970.
Not quite 50 years yet.
Oh my goodness, 50 years. So you've had a lot of years of planting beautiful flowers.
Yep.
What was the first flower you planted here, Don?
Oh, Lord.
Don't have any idea what no, I don't mean which one actually here.
No, I know, but I probably started out planting daffodils and tulips were the main thing I planted. Of course, I've added some every year or so, but they're all gone now, so there's nothing like that. And peonies, I always add a few every year, so I just keep adding and adding.
Keep going and going.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at some of these, and you can tell me where I'll follow you. You tell me where you want to go. Okay.
You can see those 3 out front are all the same. The 3 on the front row, they're all the same.
Okay. That's a crimson penny, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, but it's kind of a pinkish. You know, here's what I really call red here.
Oh, let me get a picture of this one.
This first year it's bloomed.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
A red, where that's more pinkish red.
Beautiful.
And that's
Beautiful.
honeysuckle on the
Honeysuckle on the vine.
vine there, yeah.
Oh, yes,
That
this,
was a big pink peony that's already gone already. That's there in front of you.
right,
Uh,
right. Oh, you've got some beautiful iris here. Are these are tall irises?
yeah, they're Dutch iris. They're different. They're like a bulb, like a. They're not the same as the rhizome iris like these around here are.
They're called rhizome irises?
Well, yeah, you plant them. Those are kind of like a bulb and they multiply. They're different than what the tall bearded iris is. What these tall ones are called, tall bearded.
Okay.
And,
oh, they're just gorgeous. My mother raised iris that she'd gotten from her mother, and they were these are the bearded ones, correct?
yeah.
Oh, absolutely gorgeous. They just,
And I got one bloom on this little yellow peony that is like the big tall.
oh,
That's the tree peony behind it, but this is a different kind.
oh,
here.
I see that. Let me go see if I can get back over here and get this one. I love these. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a yellow penny until I came by your house.
Not very common.
They're not common. There goes the truck.
That is a shorter variety of the tree peony. You can see that has woody-like stems on it.
Yes, it does. And it will have penny flowers on it, or it did have penny flowers already on it.
It had about 20 blooms on it.
And am I correct in saying that the penny is our state flower in Indiana?
Oh yeah.
How beautiful. I tell you.
And this one right here with the yellow, they're called Japanese when they have they just have a few petals around.
I see them. Here. What's this purple stuff we're walking by?
It's almost like a weed, but it isn't. But it just comes up volunteer.
Almost like a weed.
Almost like a weed.
I love it.
It's pretty enough. I just let it grow. But this
I don't blame you.
This is a Japanese peony with the few a couple rows of petals around the outside and what they call a big balm center.
Oh, it does have a big balm center, and that is a Japanese
That's a
penny.
Japanese, and I don't know the story actually, but that's a Japanese penny. Doesn't have the multiple layers of blooms. There's another Japanese.
Right,
penny
it's a
right
little
there.
pink one here. I won't step on anything. I'll try to get it
That's
too.
all right.
Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. Now, as I was preparing to come here and talk to you, I did a little research. Little is the operative word there. And I read that pennies came to us from China. Did you know that?
Well, no, I never, really, I'm sure I did some time ago,
Right.
but
That's where that flower originates. We're walking around Don and Deanie's house right now, folks, back to their backyard because
this house was built in 1881, so it's like 140 years old.
oh my goodness. Mine, it was late 1800s.
Yeah.
I think yours is older than mine.
These are about gone. There's another Japanese, but
Yes.
it's more the magenta color. And
Beautiful. And there's your traditional white pennies.
there's anyone to see the little pink one around the back of it.
Okay.
It's another Japanese type, but it's pink. It's a big
Okay.
yellow.
Not this one?
Yeah, no, the one over here.
Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness, is that not delicate and beautiful?
It's just a different color. It's kind of
Oh, it's beautiful. Pennies have become big flowers for weddings.
yeah.
Back in the day, that wasn't the case. I have a white one at home.
Yeah.
That was my grandfather's. It was one from my grandfather's house that I brought home and planted. It didn't do very good this year. What do I need?
Some did and some didn't. I don't really know. It's kind of a strange year.
What's this, Don?
I can't think of the name. That's my problem with being 79 years old. I can't think.
That's
But
not a problem.
It's been around here for years.
Oh, it's beautiful. That's beautiful.
let's cut
Let's
through
cut
here
through
if it's
here
not
and get
too-
back to the... Obviously, folks, cameraman Chuck is not doing to this. It's cameraman Kathy today.
This one
Look at
down
this.
here is about gone.
Oh,
There's a big pink one.
there's
there.
a beautiful one, yes. And earlier this season, folks, when I came by here, when I was driving back and forth to Tiffany's house when we were supposed to be quarantined,
Yeah.
this was all full of tulips and daffodils. Oh, that's beautiful.
You see some single ones there.
And
so
this
that's
is a
cool.
Japanese too, yes?
Combination.
Yes, they got together.
This peony in the middle here underneath the pawpaw tree is called Raspberry Sundae. It looks like an ice cream with raspberry syrup on it. It's called Raspberry Sundae.
Oh, it sure
I don't remember
does.
the names of half of them, but I always remember that name because it's kind of
Oh,
unique.
it is.
It looks like,
I'm going to get close to that. A raspberry sherbet. Look at that, folks. Isn't that gorgeous? And this iris, my goodness, look at that. It's tipped in yellow with kind of an irisy pinky center, and then peach. Oh, just beautiful, Don. Just beautiful.
the tulip tree. It had never got very big, but it's still alive. It's got leaves on it.
And that tulip tree is our state tree too, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Got
Beautiful.
an iris out here that's called Miss Indiana, so you want to get a picture of
Oh,
Miss
absolutely.
Indiana. That's just another
Absolutely.
big pink one.
Oh, look how big that is. Gorgeous. What's this?
Wild columbine, Julia, I think it's called.
Beautiful.
And these are California poppies. They're
Little teeny poppies.
Yeah,
It's
they're
not
little
time
tiny
yet,
ones.
really, for poppies, is it?
a lot of them have bloomed already. That's Miss Indiana.
That purple and white one? Oh
Miss
my
Indiana.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Let me meander over here and get it. Look at this, folks.
Look at our
Oh,
bunny. Since we don't have cats, the bunnies have kind of, to see the bunny over there by the...
oh, there is a bunny. If I get close, I'll
They just-
scare it. Between the
They
shed.
think they belong here. They don't run from us. They just think we...
I've had people tell me that everybody said, oh, and looky who's coming. It's Deanie. And you all thought Dawn was the only one out here keeping this yard immaculate. No, there's the mowing lady.
She's taking over the mowing. She don't even let me on the mowing.
Now we have to stop by and look at this too.
That's
Look at this rhubarb, guys. I had some of this rhubarb this spring too, and it was delicious. See those big bright red?
I gave some to Lois the other day when they were here.
Yes, you said Lois and Jerry took you up on visiting, and
That's
another
one.
pretty
These are
pink
more
penny.
Japanese iris.
Oh, aren't those lovely? How,
You can see
oh,
they're plentiful.
look at this iris back here. Look at the color of it. Oh my goodness. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Oh, we didn't get near the clematis.
Well, we
over
can
there.
walk back over by the clematis. I'll just talk to you as we walk back
Two or
over.
three varieties over there, but they're pretty much like you've already seen.
Right. How many hours a day do you spend out here, Don?
Oh, I don't, I've got it. You can see I got edging around, which, a garden, I try to keep the edging around to keep the grass from getting in the flower beds. Even though some of this works up in the wintertime, I got to dig it up or dig and get it back down again. But that helps. But Deanie's a big help getting the weeds out of the flower beds and things. So we try to keep things under control.
Oh, I can't imagine how many hours and hours and hours you spend out here.
It just kind of takes care of itself, a lot of it.
And
so.
my clematis doesn't look anything like this either. Look at these, folks. Absolutely stunning. And is this a double one? Look at,
Yeah, this is a double too. So
oh, and
this
that white one. Look at that.
it's a double.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh. What's the best thing to put on clematis to get them to flower like that?
I don't know. I've never, I give them fertilize once a year, maybe. I don't overdo any fertilizing thing, but Miracle Grow or something like that is what I usually use, and put it in, a spoonful and a couple gallons of water. And
Well, my daddy always swore by Miracle Grow, and I use it too, but my clematis doesn't begin to look like that.
well, like I said, I don't do anything special by planting them, and Mother Nature takes care of them, kind of. But I do once in a while. I can't think of
Just
garden growing out there.
give you an idea of what
Iris is there.
you got your irises in your garden. Give you an idea about how big this is. That's a lilac tree in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And you can see the
We got an acre altogether. This is an acre here. That's how much our, whole.
you have an acre, and you probably have a half an acre of flowers planted.
Yeah. peonies out by the driveway.
I see some poppies coming up here too.
Yeah.
What made you fall in love with flowers, Don?
Well, I would think a lot of people might have known Irene Pope and lived in Acton, but Irene was my flower person. That I got to loving flowers from her. She was the big flower person in Acton and had flowers all over her yard, and she's kind of what got me started loving flowers, and she's also why we got into collecting salt dips together. We were collecting buddies and flower buddies both.
Okay.
These
And
pi-
flower buddies exchange bulbs
Yeah,
too, don't
yeah.
they? There's some poppies.
Yeah, that's orange poppy. They don't last very long, and they
No.
droop over so bad. But
Their leaves or their
fragile,
petals
yeah.
just feel like paper.
they just look like silk flower. Silk
Yes,
petals
like
kinda.
absolutely. Some more lilac trees that were in bloom earlier.
Several poppies around here. They're early, kind of common orange ones are pretty well done blooming by now.
Oh, that's a pretty iris.
That's speckles. I know that because the little speckles all over.
Oh, it does look like
But look at that. That's a better picture.
Oh, yes,
It's
you
got
can
little
see the
specks all over.
little speckles.
Spreckles. Yeah.
Spreckles. Spreckles the iris.
Yeah.
How long does a blossom on an iris last? I've found them, if I have them in the house, they don't keep real
No,
long.
they don't keep very good. Deanie got a couple broke over that had big heavy stems, and she cut them. She brought them in, and I stuck them in water. You can take them home with you because they're awful pretty, but they're just not lasting very good. So
Right.
they'll be good for a couple days.
Oh, I would love to.
Some of these have been around here for a long time. Some we just have added but there are a lot of the plain white and pink ones were here
For years
when we
and
moved.
years.
Yeah,
They were
already
here when,
Yeah.
and they're blooming still so
And
beautifully.
this is,
It's because they have so much tender love and care.
a couple
Oh.
different ones.
I wish that you could smell all this, folks, because it all smells just as strong as these colors are coming at us. Just beautiful. Ah.
It's stuck under the.
Oh, we're making our way back around to the front of the house. Oh, and to the front when you drive by. There's my car. And the sprinkles started. I knew we were going to get caught if I didn't come and today, and I just wanted to do this so bad because it's so pretty. And these pennies, when you start getting a little, that has a tiny bit of a yellow cast to it.
Yeah, and it has red flecks in it.
Uh-huh.
That's one of the variations.
That's lovely. That's lovely.
Tell you what, I want to show you one thing. That's a pretty yellow.
Oh, it is a pretty yellow. Let me grab this real quick. Look at that. Stunning. What did you want to show me? He said he wants to show me.
Back the azalea was in full bloom. You saw it.
Yes, the azalea was
And
right
it's
here at the corner.
It's all gone, but the rhododendron started blooming.
Oh, it has,
You
hasn't
see,
it?
You see a few blooms on it. It's not going to be as full as it usually is, but it's got several.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been there for years.
Tiffany has some pink, I think, pinkish color rhododendrons at her house. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Oh my goodness!
For years, and it just comes back every year.
It
And
grows
it's
out of your step?
It just grows right there where it, and I don't. It's like the wild ageratum, the wild columbine, but
I think I called that bleeding hearts when you put it in
Yeah,
my...
yeah.
I said you would
And
correct me.
It's a nuisance because the top ones, come off and fall. They shatter, and then you got to clean up a mess. So
Oh, but it looks so pretty coming out of your old
but
step there.
that has been there for years and comes back every year, just like it was planted there. So I just let it grow.
As well you should. If
I wanna
something
get these
if something wants to live that long,
Oh yeah.
we best leave it be.
Well, these
Just
broke over,
gorgeous.
and she didn't want
Oh, Don.
so you might as well take them
Look
home
at
with you.
these. Those of you that have been at the senior center know that Don has brought me beautiful flowers for years, and most of them in the summertime come out of his yard. And so, oh, look at those iris. Those are
So-
absolutely stunning.
Let me pour a little water out so you
Oh,
don't have trouble
we'll
with
be
it, but
fine.
Take it home and enjoy it because it'd only be good for a couple of days, but it broke over and Deanie didn't want to let it lay there. So.
Well, bless Deanie's heart. She's going to send a little of that home for me. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, Don, thank you so much for
Right.
taking us on a trip through your yard and It's so good to
It'll
see
be-
you.
It'll be daylilies blooming soon, and you'll have something to come again and get daylilies.
Well, that's what I'll
I
do.
got 100 varieties of daylilies, probably.
Because you collected daylilies. I want to take a picture of your front porch here before we go. We get Deanie's being shy. She doesn't want to come out except on the lawnmower.
Yeah,
And that's okay.
and I usually have Gerber daisies on the porch in my planters, but White Barn Gardens is closed this year. And
Oh,
that's where
that's
I've
right.
always gone and got
Hard
my
to get 'em.
flowers.
Yeah.
That's been here for several years.
Looky
This is pretty
there.
nice.
Look. Oh, that
That's
is
named
beautiful.
Ramona. I remember the name of that one.
I think that's what I have at home, although mine's not as big. I'm just going to have
Somebody
to.
gave me a start of these purple, and you can see the whole bed's going to be full of
Purple
them, but they're just
soon.
not getting started. But
Oh,
they have been there for several years, and the gal that gave the start to me has passed away several years ago. So I kind of keep them as a memory of Llewellyn Smith.
absolutely.
So-
Well, there's our cars in the parking lot. There's the front yard. I'll give you another gander around, folks. It's just starting to sprinkle a little bit. But Don said he loves to show his flowers off. And if you want to come out sometime and stop and see them,
That's fine.
just come and enjoy the beauty. Come and enjoy. So
She's getting the car out of the rain.
she's getting the car out of the rain. I better get out of the rain too.
Okay,
Thank
okay.
you so much, Don. You want to say anything to anybody?
Just everybody take care and stay healthy. That's a big thing.
You're right about
We
that.
got to always try to stay healthy.
Absolutely. Thanks, Don. Be sure and thanks, Deanie, for me too.
I will do so.
Okay. Don, I have to apologize to you for chopping your head off so many times in that video. I'm learning, and hopefully I'll get better, and when it's time to come back and see the daylilies, instead of gandering at your flowers all the time, I will try to keep the camera on you, okay? And I also want to apologize for calling that beautiful penny that you so painstakingly told me was called a raspberry sundae penny, and I hold it up and call it a raspberry sherbet one. But no, it did look like a sundae, all creamy vanilla on the bottom and tinged in pink. You were right about that. Can't thank you enough for sharing all that beauty with us. And I'll tell you, Cindy Miller wrote a beautiful tribute that says it so much better than I can. Don and Deanie's place. The flowers are a gift from God to you and me. They touch our souls and they feed the bee. So the cycle of life can continue to flow. Just gaze at a flower, your faith will grow. Those who drive or walk by your yard think what a lovely picture for a greeting card. It's a beautiful and peaceful as we go on our way. Thank you so much for brightening our day. Your care of these healthy plants that please are the result of hours on your knees. As your loving hands tend a yard full of beauty, caring for flowers, what a special duty. Yellow, orange, purple, and red, all colors and hues adorn each bed. Thank you for flowers we enjoy from spring through fall, as we soak up the splendor that calls to us all. Soak up some of that splendor this week, folks. I'll see you next week on Kathy's Corner.